It's me, Renee. I'm back on a Tuesday. Yes, because it's the day after Travel Day, but the same week. So yeah, I'm doing Hitchhiker's Guide to Galaxy book tag. So that's why I have my towel ready here with me. In case you do know what's Travel Day, what's the Hitchhiker's Guide to Galaxy, one of the best books series ever. It's written by Douglas Adam, who sadly died some years ago. But it came out in the 80s, 1980s, and it's just such a bonkers, weird, funny series, and I highly recommend check it out. Though you needn't have read that one to see this tag. It's not going to be a spoiler tag, really. It's going to mention some stuff, but it's not really spoilers. So, yeah, let's start. First, demolishing your house. What book would you look first to save from demolition? So it's a fun way to if your house burned down, what would you save? Like, which book would you save? Now, this was kind of difficult, honestly, I would say, because I have so many books and so many ones I really, really enjoy. I end up going with, and also, sorry, I end up going with two books. Cheating, maybe. Don't care. I can get two books in one books. I can manage to hold two books while running away. So I'm doing actually randomly two Norwegian books. Overlevelsesplan, which came out this year. So I actually got this signed, so that's why I want to save it. I got it from the author, directly from the author. It's signed personally, so that's very fun. Uh, uh, and yeah, I haven't met the author yet, but I got it signed personally, so very happy with that. And then this is also signed. And this actually came up like 10 years ago now. Yeah, actually 2016. So exactly 10 years ago. And this, it's the last part in Norway's big fantasy series, which actually also exists in English and Spanish and German and a lot of languages actually. But yeah, I digress. Anyway, so this book, it's uh, it came out 10 years ago, and it's such a big phenomenon in Norway that they had like a big release party for this book. And at the time, I lived in Oslo where they had a release party. So I went to that. You got soup, you got cake, there were speeches. Was there some singing? I think maybe there was some poems. Yeah, there was lots of things happening. It was great. I loved it. And also, I got it signed. So, yeah, this has like a memory attached to it, but also it's signed. So, yeah, of course. Sorry. No. Vogon Poetry. So, Vogon is an alien that you meet in series. It's a science fiction series. It's all about aerospace and different aliens. So prompt here, quote a poet, a line of poetry, or a lyric that you love. So like a lyric from a song. I'm gonna do a lyric because I'm not really that into poetry or really a poet. I feel like it's also kind of weird to quote a poet or a line of poetry. Isn't that kind of same? Or maybe a poem could be written by two people. Maybe. Anyway, also yeah, I love a lot of music, but it was kind of difficult to think about because a lot of the music that I love, it's good as music, but like for example, "Dance" by Dua Lipa from the Barbie movie, it's a great song, but the chorus is just "Dance, dance the night away," which is a nice lyric, but it's not like, oh my god, this needs the Nobel Prize. I feel like it kind of works very much with the dance and with the way it's sung and all that, but as a lyric in itself, hmm. I ended up going with the lyrics from Drops of Jupiter by Train. Since the return of the moon, she listens like spring and she talks like June. Uh, and honestly, I would say most of the lyrics in that song is just so poetic and not poetic. I mean, it's just kind of Jupiter and moon. It's kind of a lot of space themed, but But yeah, I very much like that lyric in that one. So yeah, I'm gonna go with that one. Then we have the next question. 42. The answer to life, the universe, and everything. Because actually in the first book, yeah, it's in the first book, it's discovered that the Earth, because Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is a series, and the first book in the series uh, discovers that the Earth was actually made to discover, to find out, like, as a supercomputer, to discover what the answer to the universe, life, and everything is. But because Earth was actually demolished before they could really get a precise answer, the answer they get is 42. Right? What? 42? Yes, 42. So, yeah, it's this cool big thing, really. And I always like, if people say something and I don't know the answer, I just say 42 because it's the answer to everything in life and the universe. So the prompt here, what is the point? What is the meaning of life? So, like, what do you think the meaning of life is? Which I suppose, how could I answer this? Well, it's like a question, but religious people has talked about it for ages, and philosophers and whatnot. I feel like it's kind of a difficult question to answer in a way, but also, honestly, in some ways, not. I would say, well, at least I feel like meaning for my life, at least, is I kind of have this philosophy of uh, that not everyone can do everything, but everyone can do something, and that you can help the world one person at a time. So maybe I can't be a president and change the whole world, but I can smile to a person I meet in the street who become happy by my smile, and then they will go to their school with a better mood, and then their classmates will be happier, and like it's a ripple effect. So yeah, I don't know. Honestly, my meaning of life, I would say, is be good to the world and the world smiles back. I mean, just put positiveness out in the world. Of course, not in toxic positivity ways. I mean, of course, sometimes things are awful and bad. But I would say, like, in general, to be positive towards the world is not really a bad way to look at the world, I would say, and to live in the world, in my mind. Next question. A radio beginning. What is your favorite memory in your experience as a listener to the radio? So yeah, a lot of these questions really aren't that book focused, which I feel like is kind of fun also. You get to know the Jewel more. Um so yeah, I mean, even though I'm 33, I'll turn 34 in a few weeks. So I suppose I'm on the younger scale, depends on who you ask and whatnot. But I actually still listen to radio. I like a lot of radio programs. I listen to podcasts also, yes, but also lots of radio. But I also did lots of radio before. I feel like it's kind of difficult because there's a lot of good radio shows. For example, there's one that I listen to still because it's still on the air after 15 years, Lördagsrådet, which is all about giving advice to people. It's like an advice program. And it's just, I mean, it's just fun to listen to people's problems and how people solve them and how you come with ideas to solve problems and whatnot. And I like it. But yeah, the question is like one of the early radio memories. I have to say Hallo i uken. I mean, again, I'm Norwegian, I'm going to say Norwegian stuff. But Hallo i uken used to be this satire program. It was on for 10 years, I believe. Yeah, 10 years. From 1994 to like 2004. So it was on in my early childhood. And I remember it was just so weird when it stopped. But they would always talk about the news in a funny way. They would always, talk about the news. They would have like characters that would return again and again. And then they would, at the end, they would have like uh, this guy who would say, oh, what was it? Cashbackers again. På vegne av hva vet du? Mange Tore Hansen. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't really understand it, but yeah, it was kind of fun. And there's also always this guy from VG, a Norwegian newspaper, who would just say, and he was just always be way off. He would never know what the case, what the what the news story was, and it would just like be weird. And yeah, I love it so much. It was just the best. I don't really know where it changed up. I suppose they kind of just wanted new stuff. The people who worked on it, but it was very good. Halloween weekend. I don't really think you can find it someplace. Like if you're curious, I suppose maybe you can Google and see if you find. But also it would be in Norwegian. But I know some people check out like want to learn Norwegian and whatnot. But yeah. Um. Question 5. Towel day. Uh. What is a book or books would you bring on a holiday? That's kind of prevalent because I'm actually going away for the week, well, on a weekend trip in 2 days. But I feel like also the question, what books would you bring on a holiday? I feel like, are you asking what books, like, would I, like, what category, like, what genres, or what authors? Like, there's a lot of ways you can answer this, really, I would say. And also, I would say, also depends on, of course, where you're going. Like, if you're going on a trip where you're going to be doing a lot of hiking, I mean, you won't get the time to read a lot, or sightseeing. If you're going on a beach holiday, you wouldn't want to read a lot. I did actually last year. I went to a place where I thought like, oh, there's gonna be so many books and bookstores and whatnot. No, 2 years ago, I went to Rhodes in Greece. Turns out they don't really have English books in the bookstores, and they also just had one bookstore. So yeah, I had brought some books, but like I couldn't buy any new ones. So the only cool place to really was like at the airport. But yeah, anyway. Um, but yeah, what books to bring on holiday? I would just kind of say maybe take, well, honestly, also just take something from your current TBR. I mean, of course, if you're gonna do buddy read, if you have a book you like, if you have a book series you're rereading, because often, at least for me, there's often something like that. Maybe it's a book that you're wanting to read for a while. Put that one with you. Maybe go with offer that you read before because you know what you're getting into. You're not like wouldn't be pick up a book that's oh suddenly it's bad and then you're stuck with a bad book. I was stuck, but of course you can DNF on holiday as well. But yeah, what book to bring on holiday? I don't know how to answer this. Like books you want to read. At least also for me, like I read a lot of different genres, and it's not like except for in June in Christmas when I read Christmas books. Except for that, I just read wherever, whenever. Well, also in Easter, I read crime books, but also, well, normally I just read whenever, whatever, whenever. So, yeah, a book you're in a mood to read. Maybe it's a, maybe, yeah, I don't really know how to answer this. Like, those, yeah, a book you want to read. I actually haven't decided myself what I'm going to pick with me on a trip, though, yeah, I'll do that later. Blah, blah, blah. The Infinite Improbability Drive. Name a fast read. So, again, I could go with a lot of books that, at least in my mind, there's a lot of good fast reads. I'll read a lot of fast reads generally. The Secret Life of a Lady by Darcy McGuire. Historical romance, but also with spies. It's a fast paced series. This is the first in series. It's a fast paced series, but also it's under 300 pages. So also in the pages itself, like all other things happen. So you kind of want to turn the pages. It's not like there's a lot of times where nothing happens. So you want to keep reading different new chapters. So yeah, I'm gonna say this book. I suppose like fast paced. How do you define it? Is it like short chapters? Is it a book with small with lots of pictures? Is it a book with yeah. I used to like to talk. How do you define fast read? There's a lot of ways to define it, at least in my mind. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know how to answer the question. But yeah, blah blah blah. Don't panic. Name a book with great levels of tension or suspense. Uh, so I feel like I had an idea of this read, and then I forgot to put it forward. I'm gonna do that one. Yeah. Charlie Anonymous and the Phantom of Time. It's the fourth in the series. A very good series. I would say honestly, I would say most of the series is like a lot of suspense, a lot of things happening. But also in this book, like it takes things to another level really. So yeah, very, very good. I don't know why I coughed. Ooh. Blah blah blah. Even in film adaptations, the Hitchhiker's Guide to Galaxy actually has both a movie and film adaptation. It has several. There's also a radio play, so it's all the adaptation versions really. The question here is: pick a book to discuss. One or more TV or film adaptations that you know of the book. So I feel like that phrase was kind of difficult phrase, but I feel like if you're going to talk about a book where it's been adapted and you liked how, yeah, like, yeah, it was adapted. Give me a little moment. I forgot to check it out. I mean, there's a lot of books I want to see adapted. I feel like sadly there's a lot of them that aren't adapted as of right now. But give me a moment because I have a book in my head. In my head. On my head. So the first book in the series, this is the third book, but the first book is adapted, and honestly, I love the adaptation of the first book. It took some things out, yeah, but also I would say all in all, it's a very good movie. So yeah, I do feel like there's that much more to say here really about that. The prompt said you can pick one or more. I'm just gonna do that one book. And then the question is, as always, tag people. I'm gonna tag Noah at the bookworm. I'm gonna tag JJ at the Darkstar. Darkstar reads. Darkstar, yeah. And that tag Amber. I don't know, but I feel like you would have read this book. But I also feel like you don't really need to have read the series to answer these questions. And also, as always, tag your it. I'm tagging everyone. So, yeah, 42. Don't panic.